So did you guys know that apparently, along with the other Tingle DS games, there was a canceled Tingle horror game? Not sure how I feel about that. Yeah. Weren't the other games horror games as well?
That's what I thought. I thought the Tingle games were horror games.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I think that's everything I ever wanted in a game.
Yeah.
I think it was.
It's the perfect game, especially the thumbnail they're using.
Doesn't exist.
The thumbnail that they're using of Tingle he just looks too realistic, even though he's still Tingle.
They should have used Wind Waker Tingle for, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Even though I don't even play Hyrule Warriors, but still.
Yeah.
They're creepy in different ways though, like Wind Waker Tingle and Majora's Mask Tingle.
Yeah.
Wind Waker Tingle's like this weird otherworldly person that's like, there's just something off about him. And Majora's Mask Tingle is like, this guy needs like to probably like waxes his chest, and he when he gets home, he I don't know, like he's like a grungy old 35-year-old guy that's like dressed up in spandex, you know. So I'm like talking to kids and.
All right then.
It's just there's just something
That's
uncomfortable.
the person that when you are with children, you walk much faster past.
Yeah, just imagine that guy, like 35-year-old guy. He's probably got, you know, like his chest hair like sticking out of his shirt, you know, and he like is hanging out at the playground, not doing anything, not talking to anybody, but he's just hanging out there, like drawing a picture of the trees, you know, watching the kids play, not doing anything, but he's there. Watching, learning.
That's so horrible.
All the earmarks of turning into a crime.
Yeah. So this piece of news comes from Nintendo Everything, where they say Nintendo and Vanpool canceled a horror game that starred Tingle. Tingle, the peculiar character from the Zelda series, has been featured in his own games before. Freshly picked Tingle Roozy Rupee Land and Ripen Tingle's Balloon Trip of Love are the most notable of the bunch, and came out on DS many years ago. I believe there was a cell phone game as well. I had to cover it on one of the videos that I made. Yeah, I think there was 3 on DS, and then there was like one that was I think it was like a cell phone game, but there was also a kiosk for it. I don't remember why. They continued.
I don't know.
Looking back 8 years ago, so that would have been 2010, we were developing a horror game with Vanpool that shared Tingle as the main character, but that project was cancelled due to a variety of reasons.
Probably because it was too similar to an episode of Law and Order SVU.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I was thinking about that.
Tanabe, I don't know how to pronounce that. I apologize. Didn't say anything further about the mystery project, but we do know that it. But we do know. What we do know. Sorry, that's my fault. Thought it was a typo. What we do know is that Nintendo and Vanpool kept in touch, with the latter making a prototype for what eventually became Dylan's Rolling Western. Yeah. So
Rolling Western.
That's a game I've never heard of or played.
If the game began early development in 2010, that means it likely would have been on the 3DS or the Wii U. And since all of their games have been handheld games, it seems like it would have been the 3DS and not the Wii U. So this would have been the only 3DS Tingle game. Yeah. And something else that's weird about this is, if you look at all of these Zelda games on the 3DS, there are no new traditional 3DS Zelda games. They are all either remakes, spin-offs, or reimaginings, or whatever.
But Jesse, someone says in the comments, what about A Link Between Worlds?
Yeah, that's... So, A Link Between Worlds began as a remake.
Yes.
So,
I know, someone would call
and then it is its own like new traditional game, but I look at it as more of a reimagining, because one person,
absolutely.
I think Aonuma wanted to make a new game and Miyamoto wanted to remake A Link to the Past, so they ended up like halfway through the development of the actual remake, they ended up changing it so it kept the overworld and everything and just reused everything. So I look at it as more of a remake. But yeah, we have Ocarina of Time 3D, Majora's Mask 3D, which are remakes. Triforce Heroes, which is not a traditional game. Hyrule Warriors Legends, another spin-off, and then A Link Between Worlds, which is like in between traditional and a remake. So it's weird that like
kind of like a spin-off, but a remake of a spin-off, or like a port of a spin-off, I guess, actually. But that's double trouble.
So I just think it's really weird that the console that technically has the most Zelda games doesn't have a single new, unique Zelda game.
I never even thought of that, but yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's better than having a Tingle game, though.
Yeah, so this Tingle game, what on earth, realistically speaking,
were they thinking?
Sorry. They could have... Okay, so I have an idea of why this would have been a horror game, which is what I was going to ask. Like, why do you think they would have made it a horror game? And my thought is, when the team that was working on Hyrule Warriors were creating that game, they had a lot of back and forth with Nintendo and Aonuma. And Aonuma said that he didn't want them to make a game that was similar to what a traditional Zelda game is, because they wanted to include actual dungeons and puzzle solving and everything in Hyrule Warriors. But Aonuma said, I don't want you to make a game that I can make. It's my job to make the traditional Zelda games that everybody likes. So if we're going to let someone else make a Zelda game, it should be a Zelda game that we wouldn't be able to make, because we're too busy working on the actual Zelda games. And I think that might have been the thought process behind this, because they would have thought, we've already did like a weird adventure spin-off with Tingle, what haven't we done? And what type of Zelda game hasn't been done before? So they ended up going with a horror game, which again, really weird. But
it makes the most sense though, because like even like Nintendo places these weird sort of restrictions, like you can use their characters, but
Mario can't jump.
But Mario, that's exactly what I was gonna say. You can have Mario in your Rabbids game, but Mario can't jump.
And then there's like weird, what does
weird
he do
stipulations.
if he doesn't jump?
What does he do?
Honestly, like Miyamoto can like walk into a room with developers and say some random crap, and then it changes the face of that game forever. He walked into Retro Studios while they were making Metroid Prime, and he's like, what if Samus had a bug head? And then he leaves, and they're like, huh? And that's how they came up with the scan visor somehow. But like, he just says weird things, and they have such impact. So
it really is bizarre. It's like
it's in that man's brain.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case here, where they were like, you know, they're wanting to make a Tingle game, or they want to make a Zelda game. Like, can we make a Zelda game? Like, yes, but it has to have Tingle.
Okay, so here's the thing. What if it's really Aonuma being scared that another developer will make a better traditional Zelda game than him? So he tells them that they're not allowed to make a traditional style Zelda game.
Like, you can't.
That way
Nintendo can't show me up.
That way Nintendo doesn't move him onto another project and get the director of the spin-off game and place him in front of Nintendo's team. So
wasn't the thing you told me where he kind of wants to move on, but Nintendo's like, no, you're the Zelda man.
You are here till you die.
Every time, almost every time, which we heard the same thing from Sakurai, where like every time they finish one of their games, they're like, and we're going to move to something else now. And almost every time Aonuma says the same thing, where he's like, I've been working on Zelda for 15 years. I want to make something new. I've been working on Zelda for 20 years. I want to make something new. I've been working on Zelda for 25 years. And I want to make something new. And then Sakurai, I think ever since Melee or Brawl, every time he finished Smash Brothers, he was like, that's my final Smash game. And then 5 years later, that's my final Smash game.
The thing is, like, every time I believe it too, like, he's designed Brawl and Smash 4 and now Smash Ultimate, like, he always designs it with the intention of, like, we're gonna make this the best Smash game because it's gonna be my last Smash game. And then he keeps coming back. He just keeps coming back. But I might believe it more this time because the name of the game is actually Smash Ultimate.
Yeah.
Which actually means,
until
like,
Smash
final.
Bros. Ultimate 2.
Or if he makes another Smash Brothers and its name is Final Smash.
Oh.
That would be a heartbreaker.
Yeah, like Super Smash Bros. Finale or Final. Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, I'm pretty sure they're, like, feeding him, like injections from the Fountain of Youth and, like, giving him the Elixir of Life to keep him from aging so he can make more Smash games.
Exactly.
That's why he looks the same as he did when he made the first game
like
in
30
the 90s.
years ago. He just looks the same. So what do you guys think the possible plot of this game could be?
Well, it's a horror game, so it takes place in Tingle's mind.
Okay.
The scariest place.
So like Bowser's
in
inside story, but it's Tingle's inside story.
Kula Limpa. No, jokes aside. God, I don't even know what you would do for the story. Like, he probably... well, the other Tingle stories, he's been kind of like
they're pseudo
transported to another
games.
World, and weird stuff happens. I think one of them is like Tingle was like a moniker.
Go to the rupee fairies.
That got passed on, the rupee fairies. So maybe someone stole his rupees, he goes to get it back, he gets trapped in a haunted house, and then someone tries to stab him to death repeatedly, and he's got to hide.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best I got.
See, the
play that game.
Like, I feel like it would have to be 3D, not 2D. Which makes sense, because it said they went on to make the Rolling Western game, which is like a weird 3D game.
Right.
So,
but
maybe...
is this a Tingle horror game where Tingle's the player character and he's hiding from someone? Or is
Tingle's the one hunting down everybody?
What if you go to like Tingle's house and he's hunting you down, you know, and you're hiding from Tingle? That game's better. That's way better than what I said before.
My question was like, okay, but who is it horrific for? Is it horror for Tingle or horror for the player? Or both? But because like, if it's horror for the player, simply having Tingle is enough. But
maybe it's horror for the player because you go into Tingle's house and Tingle thinks you're a fairy and he wants to keep you in a bottle.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I would try playing it. I'd be playing with my 3DS out here, like I'm gonna keep playing.
Yeah, that's a game that you don't want to look at in 3D.
Yeah. Oh.
You want to keep the 3D slider turned down.
It would be region locked anyway to Japan, but.
It's one of those games you can't play like with headphones on while you're like alone in the dark.
Yeah.
Like Home Alone.
You hear every sound that you couldn't hear normally.
It's like
you hear Tingle breathing like as he's coming into the room, and you just know he's a heavy mouth breather. He's like.
Have you guys ever seen or played the PT demo from Konami? The PT demo.
Oh, I've seen that. I never played it. But
so like instead of the witch running towards you to kill you in the demo, it's just Tingle. Like you're walking, because that game there's one hallway and you can walk straight down the hallway and then it turns right and then you go down that hallway and there's a bathroom door and like other locked doors. You can only go in the bathroom, and then when you go through the door at the end of the hallway, it loops you back to the beginning of the first hallway. So like you're walking through and you keep hearing stuff every now and then, and you have to complete these puzzles before the witch gets you. And sometimes it's a requirement for the witch to get you so you can progress to the next part. And she always shows up in different areas. So my thought is you're playing as the same character in the game. You're still playing as Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead, because that's the character you play as in this game. Except when you turn around after you hear something, it's just Tingle, like 3 feet tall, running towards you.
It's like towards you.
And he has his drawing pad where he draws his maps, and he tries to just stab you with the pin.
You gotta you gotta steal from him like a map of the house. Okay, just imagine this. There's like a room, old rustic room. He's sitting there on a rocking chair next to the fireplace. You hear that as he's like rocking back and forth, and he's just got the map that he's drawn of the house just laid over the armrest, and there's a faint snooze as he's like sleeping really lightly, but he's a very light sleeper, and he's gonna kill you if you wake him up, and you gotta like sneak over and get his map from him. And there's that and he's snoring. He's like
no.
This is a masterpiece.
Okay, well, Kayla wrote in the chat, she said, also, maybe Tingle plays the role of Link, and he believes he's Link, and the horror comes from the Hyrulean seeing Tingle trying to save her.
No, okay. Another idea. It's like Death Note. So Tingle has his pen and pad, and if he writes your name or draws a picture of you...
You can't let him see you, because if he draws a picture of you, you'll die.
How well can he draw, though? It would probably be like a figure, just like a circle and 2 eyes.
Well, no, you know he's not that good an artist, because if you get like the Tingle chart in Wind Waker, he drew that, right? And it's got like the drawings of the fairies, and they're really like janky childy drawings, like kindergarten quality level drawings.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a child.
He's 35, at least.
Yeah, but in his head, he is a
Plus
child.
a couple hundreds. Who knows?
That's so horrible.
But then,
according to him,
the thing is, his goal, like he wants to enslave you. Like he's got, you know, the other guys. Was it like David?
Who have just really plain names.
Yeah. What
the Tingle brothers?
What are their other names? The Tingle brothers. The other ones. There's like.
I don't know.
You know the ones. They got the other.
They
suits.
look just like.
And he wants to. Because what he's gonna do is he's gonna like graft your face to enslave you like them if you don't escape, right? So.
And make you wear a mask that makes you look like him.
Those aren't his actual brothers. Those are just victims that he keeps prisoner.
They are.
Escape before you become one of them.
They are Ankle, Knuckle, and David Jr.
Yeah, that's it.
That's so horrible.
And one of them in particular looks angry. Actually, if you look at the picture of them, there's Tingle, and then
he's the fresh
Ankle
one.
and Knuckle. Yeah, the last one, David Jr. is in the white one, but his eyebrows are not just up; they're like furrowed.
Oh, so because he got turned recently. He's freshly converted.
So I think an interesting
still fighting it.
An interesting thought about this is they made 4 swords around the same time as Wind Waker. So what if their thought was, because we're giving 3 additional links, let's also give 3 additional tingles.
So that's why they made the Tingle brothers?
More tingle.
Yeah.
The world does need more Tingle.
Yeah, it's like after Majora's Mask, they're like, how can we make the next Zelda game better? Even more Tingle.
More Tingle.
Yeah.
In Japan. Although that Tingle was the source of much annoyance from my brother, but much amusement from my mom and I on the Wind Waker, because we had like my Game Boy Advance connected. Because my brother wanted to play, but I wanted to play, but obviously he was better at it. And so I would join it, and I like gave it to my mom. I showed her what to do, and she would just do the "hey" thing all the time. And Travis was like, "Stop it!"
I love it.
I didn't know how to defeat a Deku Baba, much less play the game. So.
Alright.
Daniel, would you like to take our second news story?
Oh, you mean we're done with that one?
I guess so.
There's so much untapped potential.
No, no.
None of us are gonna sleep well tonight. Okay.
Hey everyone, it's me again, Elia Rose. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. And you know what? If you're a fan of videos like this, you should totally subscribe and give this video a like and comment below to let us know what type of videos you would like to see us create in the future. And if you would really like to support all of us here at the GameOverJesse channel, please consider purchasing a GameOverJesse t-shirt or becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can receive many rewards, such as getting shoutouts, having any topic or theory that you select discussed on the podcast or made into its own video, having your question answered, joining on as a guest on the podcast, and playing with us during our Twitch live streams at twitch.tv/GameOverJesse, and much, much more.